Alright, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, waiting for me to come back here. We are switching over to survival. As I said in my last broadcast, we had excuse me, we had some prototyping issues, and I didn't like the way things were turning out. So I'm going to play with those on paper and get a better feel for what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the survival world, which is loaded already. And we're going to get in here, excuse me, and play around a little bit. And I just realized that we may not be catching the system audio. And I just realized that. So I'm wondering if I need to make a change. I'm going to check something out real quick here. See if that has any effect on it. It sure doesn't look like it's going to. Cancel. I picked up a headset for doing the live stream, and don't I don't know what effect that's going to have on this whole kit and caboodle, but we're gonna go ahead and play for about 45 minutes here, and I'm just gonna set my timer, and we're gonna get started. So last time I had started working on constructing a mining ship, and I believe that I ran out of pretty much everything. So I'm gonna go and load this bad boy up. Let's see, which camera is that on? That is on. Oh, we've still got a lot of this stuff in the connector. I forgot about that. So let's actually get this stuff loaded into oh, reached capacity on that connector. So we actually need to get it moved into cargo container, because that actually makes more sense. I am so smart today. Let me tell you. In all the ways, that is not the truth. I mean, obviously, I just tried to load the connector up with like 8 billion tons of stuff. Because I am SMRT. Alright, so let's try this. Bet this will work a lot better now. Alright, so let's look at what our production is doing. Doesn't look like we've got anything running at this point, so let's go ahead and, no, that's not running. 3, 4. There we go. We'll just keep welding away on this bad boy. How are we doing? We're still doing pretty good. Yeah, alright. Excuse me. Alright, so this is going pretty well. How are we doing on supplies? Still doing pretty good, it looks like. Yeah, we're still doing pretty good on supplies here, which I'm pretty happy about. Had a little bit of concern that I might not have produced enough materials to actually build this whole thing. I was worried I was going to have to go out to hunting for more, and without a mining ship, and with no silver and no good supply of magnesium really close by, that's a giant pain in the rear. And I don't feel comfortable going after the NPC ships at this point. There's not a good enough flyer to do it, and it's something that I want to practice and work on, but I need to build up some resources before I start doing that, because I have a feeling I'm going to go through more than one ship. But my goal is to actually build a ship that doesn't require any weapons to go take them out. My goal being to be able to fly around them enough to run them out of ammunition on at least one side before I try and dock with them and take the ship over that way. Of course, the military ships are much less likely to run out of ammo very quickly. So that is, of course, those are kind of, to me, uh, end game. Uh, what's the word I'm looking for? End goals. That's the word, not end game, but end goals. My goal is to be able to get good enough at flying to be able to take and capture one of those military ships. Um, and that's not something that's going to be quick to do. And like I said, I'm probably going to go through quite a few ships and quite a few iterations of ships before that's something that happens. But one of the things that I saw, there was a guy that did a very minimalist ship, and he used decoy blocks as a method for distracting the guns, and then he'd fly in really fast. And I tried that, and I kind of got my rear end handed to me. But what I might try is I might try doing the decoy blocks and not flying in straight away, but actually releasing groups of decoy blocks. Like maybe do a ship that carries 10 or groups of blocks that are like have a line of 10 of them down each side of the ship, and maybe along the top and bottom as well, and set that up so that the decoy blocks I can release one side at a time, and I pop all of the decoy blocks on one side and kind of fling them at my target, and maybe that will work. I don't know. It's something that I haven't experimented with a whole lot because I haven't had a lot of success in the past with taking those ships in anything remotely close to an intact shape, either myself or the ships. Usually I end up having to shoot the crap out of them just to be able to get close enough to them to land, and that doesn't really do anybody any good. Well, it doesn't really do me any good if my goal is to capture the supplies on the ship and to be able to grind down the bulk of the ship or even reutilize some of the ship. Um, so that's something that I've been in consideration of. Just make sure we're still doing okay on supplies here. I've been welding for a while I've chatted. What do you guys think? Is there something that you guys like to use in the way of capturing the NPC ships? Is there a process or something that somebody has done in the past that you've seen to be successful? If there is, definitely let me know. I'm more than interested in hearing about it because it's one of the things that I really want to be able to do in game and just have been horribly unsuccessful with. So this is coming along really nicely, and as you can see up here, there's I've got the projector, I've got an antenna and ore detector on here, of course, because it's a mining ship. And what good is a mining ship if you can't find the ore that you're looking for, right? And I do use a modification that expands the capabilities of the ore detector. It makes it so that we get about 300 meters detection, um, as opposed to the 50-meter range. And I always thought that it was a little bit strange that the ore detectors on ships did not have a much higher range, and that's why I use that mod. And I really do like it. I think it's a great mod, and I think that one is, oh, who does that one? When I get towards the end of this stream, I'll pop out and I'll actually show you the list of mods that I run most often. And that way you guys can see. And I think I might even have it documented in the info panel on my Twitch there. And actually, while this is welding, I can go take a look at that. So let's see here. Um, I don't have it listed in here. I think it's just a better antennas mod. Let me pop over to my Steam. Excuse me. And let's go look at my subscribed subscription. Oh, we stopped welding. Hang on. Alright, back to the Steam. Alright, what's the Steam say? The Steam says nothing at all because it can't talk. Oh, that's when I need to check out the Azimuth Industries overclocked ore detector, but I haven't gotten that far yet. It is in this glorious list somewhere. I think it might actually be one of the mid-space mods. but I cannot remember for certain. No, it's called Better Ore Detectors, and it's by Tostito. And all it does is actually change the small ship range to 200 meters and the large ship range to 250 meters. It works on the vanilla ore detector, uh, and that's that was a good solution in my opinion. Like I said, I love mods. I love the ability to really change the game. To make the game more fitting to your style of play. And I think that there are some mods out there that make the game way, 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 way too easy. And there's some mods out there that I think should be incorporated right into the game. Like the better ore detectors. I think the ore detectors on the game are a little lacking. A 50-meter range for the ore detector that's built into your little hand drill is one thing, but on these ships where you've got a lot more power, make it a little more expensive to power it, but boost the range on that bad boy. Make it so that it's useful um, out in the field. Uh, because honestly, the 50-meter range just seems awfully short for a ship. Awfully short. Ships are supposed to have power, as it were, and it seems like the ship's capabilities should be significantly higher than that of the individual gear we carry. Otherwise, what's the point of building a ship? I mean, if I can fly to an asteroid and carry just as much or see just as much with the small hand drill, then why not just take a ship without anything except cargo capacity and fly out and dig holes manually? And there are some people that say that that's even more efficient than building a drill ship or something like that. But I don't really like to go that route. I really like the ability to fly to where I'm going, drill, load up my cargo containers, and haul it all back. And that's I don't know. I think that's a holdover from the old Starflight days. I don't know how many of you played on the Sega Genesis a game called Starflight. It was by and far one of my absolute favorite space games ever produced for the Genesis, and it was a space RPG, and it had a huge expansive world. And you got a ship, and you flew around, and you could modify the ship. Of course, limited to what they had available in the game, and you could modify your weapons and your cargo capacity, and you had this terrain vehicle that you landed on planets, and you drove around in circles, and you hit the button to dig ore out of the ground, and if maybe one of these times I'll do a little let's play for that, because it's an old school game, but it had so much story to it, and it was really really tough because you had to manage your crew, and you had to manage your ship, and you had to manage your money, and when you were out interacting with other species in the universe, because there were aliens, of course. There's aliens because you're in space. And what fun is a space RPG without some aliens to shoot at you? And more often than not, they did. They shot at you. Um, and then I played the game, and I played the game, and I played it so much that now I can play the entire game, start to finish. I can beat it in about 4 hours, and it's just a little bit ridiculous. I could probably beat it in less than that. I could probably speed run it and cut it down to about an hour and a half. But if I want to do it, if I want to actually do it in not necessarily the most efficient fashion, but in the most thorough fashion. I have a process that I follow that it does. It takes me about 4 hours to beat the whole game. And most of that is actually artifact collecting for the purposes for the gear that you need, the artifacts that you need to be able to get your ship into the spaces um, where you can eliminate the most hostile species from the game and be able to safely traverse their space to pick up the essential artifacts for saving the universe, as it were. Because of course that's the end goal. You got to save the universe, otherwise, what good's the game? But Starflight was really, you went out and you dug and you mined and you had a cargo capacity that you had to observe, and that kind of, I guess that kind of stuck in my head moving into games like Space Engineers, and I found that to be really the kind of the kicker. And like even when I was playing things like Eve Online and other space-based games, Freelancer and Descent and those types of games, I was always conscientious of the fact that when you were in Eve Online and Freelancer, when you were hauling cargo, you had capacities. There was a specific type of material that was going to give you the most money, or a specific product that was going to give you the most money while you were out in the world. And that was, it was one of those things that you had to be aware of. And I don't know if this thing will be able to get in here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. Let's see if we can get over onto this. Um, so those are kinds of the things that stuck with me through my gaming, throughout gaming. Uh, into consoles and into PC gaming. Um, were those early RPGs, and especially Starflight was one of them that really stuck with me as a space RPG. Um, excuse me. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to work out a way to live stream that and let you guys check out a game that to me is kind of one of the hallmark classics of space RPGs and space gaming in general. It could be a lot of fun. All right, come on, finish welding this up, guys. It's just these two little itty bitty blocks, or maybe there's three of them there. There's more than two of them there. I know I'm not out of steel plates. No, definitely not. And there's a bug flying around in my living room. How rude. Now, come on, I know you can weld up those two blocks right there. What gives? There we go. Get these last two blocks and we'll check our progress. Come on. Almost done. One more to go. Come on, baby. Weld her up. Score. Alright, so let's back off of here. I'm just going to scoot along here and see if there's any bits that are still bits and bobs that need to be welded up. On the side here as well. Bash this thing up a little bit. Oh, yep, see? There's a block I missed over here. Pretty good all along here. Looks like the bottom's all welded up for the most part. Looks like maybe there's some stuff down here that needs to be welded. You know, we're doing pretty good on materials, so I'm pretty happy with that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna jump out of here, and I'm actually gonna check the projector. Nobody cares about the landing gear. Oh, it looks like we've actually we've welded the whole thing up. So let's really, man, I hate that. Character tools. Get off my bar. Need you there. Alright, so we're gonna actually, I'm gonna grind this and disconnect it. And I shouldn't have done that. Just realized that's gonna create a problem. Because it's got no power. Oh, that's brilliant. Alright, so let's do this. There's no way to squeeze that in there either. That's awesome. Smart. Smart hob. Okay, so let's grab some gear out of here. Let's grab some steel plates. Let's grab some construction components, a few reactor components, and maybe some tubes. And we're just gonna pop right up on top of here. I'm gonna stick a small reactor on here. And I found there's this mod for small reactor that is double ported, which I really, really, really love. Oh, I need a metal grid. I forgot the metal grids. So if you have a conveyor system with these reactors, if you use the small reactors on a conveyor system, they poke right on, and they only have a single port. But these actually have the ability to connect to a conveyor system and leave a port open, which is fantastic because you can use them. Computers. Why am I having? I know why I'm having a brain dead, because it's like freaking 4 in the morning or some crap like that. That's why we're having a brain dead. It's all good though. Okay, so we've got a reactor. Time to go grab some uranium. And it doesn't really matter where we go to get that uranium out at. We're just gonna go grab some uranium, and I'm gonna grab 20 of this. Confirm. And we're just going to put one into this reactor, and then we're going to load the rest into the main reactor. because I forgot to do that before I disconnected, because I am not so smart today. Alright, so now that we've done that, we'll pop back up here, grab this one, and I'm just going to grind this bad boy right on off. Cool. We do not need that small reactor. Okay, and we're going to throw that right into the large reactor as well. So now that we've done that, I'm going to back this off just a little bit here. And then I am going to go jump into this, and I'm going to move it out a little bit so that I can finish up any welding that needs to be done on it without being at risk of bashing into the tower there. And then let's see how much time we've got left. We've got another 10 minutes. That should be enough time for us to go out and dig a hole. Because, you know, what else do you do with a mining ship, right? Alright, we're going to hit 4. And we're just going to turn those bad boys on. And let's touch the bottom of this here. And one of the things with the design of the mining ship that I've got here is it does have batteries in it. And it's got a battery system, and the battery system actually allows it to operate for a significant amount of time on a fairly small quantity of uranium. So I'm actually going to load these up right now, since I intend to use this as a landing platform of sorts. So the reactor will actually charge up the batteries on that very, very, very quickly. And because it'll charge the batteries very, very quickly, the batteries stay charged most of the time, which means that the reactor has to do very, very little work in keeping the ship operational. So let's turn that off, and I'm going to park this right here, and then we'll go hop into the mining ship. But because the batteries do the bulk of the work, we end up with a system that self-maintains pretty well. And let's just take a look and make sure that the batteries are in auto and they are recharging. And it's going to take about 12 minutes for those to fully recharge. Now I'm going to turn the lights off, and we're going to do first change the name. Mark II. Cool. Control panel. Gyron. Because, you know, I can spell. So we've got the gyros, we've got the power save. So what I use the power save for is when I actually come in and dock and unload everything. After everything's unloaded, I will park the ship. I'll actually land it, lock it, and then I use power save to turn off all of the essential systems without actually shutting off the reactor. And you know, via the Y key, because what will happen is if you're physically connected via connector to another ship and you hit the Y key, sometimes it will turn off the other ship's systems, and I like to try to avoid that. So I use the power save to shut everything that's not essential off, so it conserves as much power as possible while still staying connected, keeping the conveyor system operational so that I can unload and reload and that kind of stuff while I'm out and about. Now, I'm not going to load this down with supplies just yet, mostly because I'm not going very far. I'm just actually going to drill out these asteroids right here. Excuse me. And get as much supplies as locally as I can, and then we'll look at breaking out into the world. But this is just going to be the first run here, so I'm going to hit this cobalt right here pretty hard actually. And what I do with this, and this is, I don't know if this is something specific to me or if other people do it this way as well, but I'll kick these on and I'll turn my inertial dampeners off, and then I just run at about 4 meters per second straight forward. I don't touch my controls at all unless we bump into something, and then I'll hit the inertial dampeners to stop us from moving again, and that just that helps to make sure that we don't destroy the ship in the process. And as you can see, this thing will chew through an asteroid pretty darn quick at 4 meters per second. Um, and we'll pick up the material. And that's what we're here for. And I know that there are a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't keep the stone. They throw a lot of the stone out. I tend to keep all of the stone because well, there's not a lot of stuff that gravel is required in. As I move into the later stages of the game, I may want to build a large ship, and there is gravel required for some of those components, um, for some of the larger components. So I don't throw the stone out. That's all that was about. And I'm pretty tired, so I'm probably rambling now. And that's always fun. So let's see how we're doing. Looks like we're making pretty good time through here. Looks like we're mostly into iron on this. Yeah. So as you can see, this makes a pretty good sized hole. Let's see if we can get a look. Oh yeah, we cut right through that bad boy. But yeah, as you can see, we make a pretty decent sized hole with this, and I do have tool shake turned off, just because playing the game with tool shake turned on, it really messes with my eyes. It tends to give me a nasty headache, and so I have come to grips with that, and I turn it off. Alright, and looks like we are clear of the asteroid. Let's get a look. Yeah, we're pretty well clear, so we'll move forward. And we're just going to swing around, and I'm going to go right back the way that I came. And what I like to do is I like to butt right up against the rock there. Get really close, and we're butted up against it. Keep the lights on, keep the drills on, off with the inertial dampeners, and oh, too fast. I guess we're going 3 meters per second this time. But the end result will be the same, is that we'll collect a large quantity of material, and it won't cost us a whole lot to do it. Once the batteries kick in, you'll see that most of the time we have about a day's worth of fuel. And the great thing is the rate at which the batteries discharge as to how quickly they recharge. It's really very quick. We don't run out too fast at all. It looks like this asteroid is more hollow than I thought it was. Yeah, this rock's got a big open space in it. Did not even realize. So, there you go. And it looks like we might have bumped. So we're just gonna stop moving here for a sec. And I'm going to move right back up and just butt myself up against this. Kick the inertial dampeners back off, and away we go. And I've been thinking about getting since I've got the small ship mod pack, I've been thinking about putting excuse me, a gravity generator on here, and seeing about putting collectors on it to collect floating material. But that may be something that I do with the larger scale miner instead. And as you may have heard, my alarm went off, and that does mean that our time is up. So I'm gonna finish this run through, which we are just about done, and I'm gonna go ahead and as soon as we get done drilling, turn the drills off. I'm gonna turn my inertial dampeners on. I'm gonna hit escape here, and we're gonna switch out of the visible game. We're just gonna save everything out, and I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Uh, I'm going to the next time we fire this up, I'll sit down and I'll go through the mods that I really like to play with, and maybe show you guys those a little bit, and then we'll kick in on some more survival maybe, and I think I might try and prototype the top down digging machine again. So once again, thank you for joining me. This is Hob, Church of Hob Gaming, and you guys have a wonderful day.